everybody, it's Farmer Dan. I wanted to do a video to actually introduce you to garlic scapes. I did one a little earlier that was showing you how to pickle them, but I didn't really explain too much about them in the first place. So here you have, this is my garlic patch this year. I have about 600 garlic plants that are growing. And I've already harvested the vast majority of the scapes. There are a couple of stragglers, only because they were too small to pick at the time. And so, just coming out right now, here's one right here. So basically, you have your plant that's growing from the ground, and then it shoots out this scape. And essentially, if you think about it, what this is actually, this will eventually flower and put out seed. And so the idea is, right now, the plant is putting a lot of energy into developing this scape and wanting to go to flower. You want to stop that because you want a big bulb in the ground afterwards. So harvest them is as simple as basically you snap them off. And here we have one. So a beautiful garlic scape. Delicious whether you dice it, dehydrate it, puree it, whatever you want to do. They're essentially like garlic chives, great way to put it. But one of the things that I wanted to just kind of point out is that even after you've harvested the scapes, you can kind of get almost a second harvest. And essentially what happens is, you know, you saw where I snapped that one off. There's basically nothing left. But if you look, here's one that I snapped off over a week ago, and what's happened is more of it has grown off. So you get a chance to basically snap again, and you have another chunk. I mean, this piece is probably about 4 inches long, and it's beautiful, usable, and amazingly tasty. And so if you go through, after you've already done your initial harvest, you can kind of come through and snap off some more. Now, to give you an idea of how much more you can harvest, this is actually my second time through reharvesting what has grown after the scapes have been harvested. So you look at this, and you know, it doesn't take much to go back in, and if each piece winds up being another 3 or 4 inches of this amazingly productive, useful, tasty scape, why not go through? So I actually wind up coming through, and you know, here's one. Look at this. This was harvested over a week ago, snapped off at the very end in the first place, and look at how much you're getting here. Tons. So essentially, you're in a position to do multiple harvests. This stuff is just absolutely incredible. I dice it up into my eggs. I put it into salads. I do so many wonderful things with it, and it's just so good for you, so tasty. And you're getting essentially, you know, the scapes themselves are the first harvest, and then your second harvest is coming back for what's grown from the stems that the scapes were growing in, and then you can get a third harvest, which is what this is right now. Look at this. You know, here's another one. Beautiful. Look at that. That's got to be a you know, 6-7 inch piece right there. Okay, and I can go through this whole patch and just keep harvesting beautiful, beautiful long pieces of garlic scapes. More and more useful all the time. So I would say you definitely get at least a third harvest, and that's before you actually pull the bulb from the ground. So these come out much earlier. We're still probably about another 3 weeks or so before we get to the point where we'll be harvesting the garlic itself. And so we've got, now that the scapes have been harvested, the plant knows to send all its energy into developing the largest bulb that you can get. And so what I'll be doing is, when the time is right, you know, you test one here and there, but I will be harvesting all the garlic, pulling out the plants, drying them, and then from there separating out all the ones that are going to be the fastest to be used. Any ones where the skin's been broken and the protective sheath is off, you're going to want to harvest those and use those right away. And then beyond that, I save the best ones as my seed stock for the following year. And the other ones, you know, they just get used up over the course of the year. You lay them out, and you hang them, and you let them dry, and you have this just amazing, wonderful bounty. It's now, what is it, June 28th, 2014, and we still have about a dozen garlic bulbs, full bulbs, that are the last of our stock from last year. And we've now been using, you know, the beautiful garlic scapes for the last 2 weeks, almost, you know, coming up on 3 weeks now that we've been using these and making wonderful, wonderful use of these. And by the time the scapes are gone, then we'll be harvesting our new fresh garlic. So just something else to think about. Garlic, unbelievably healthy. I mean, if there's nothing else you could grow, I think garlic should be one of the things you should have in your garden. And they're amazingly pest and disease resistant. You don't have to do anything special. Just keep the weeds down, keep them watered, give them some sunshine, and life is good. Anyways, thought that'd be a nice update. This is Farmer Dan signing out.